So our second lesson for today is going to be on how to find inverse functions. So to find our inverse function, that means we're going to invert or flip our x and our y. So we're really going to just kind of flip the whole equation around. So we have 4 steps to do that. First step, we're going to take f of x out. If we were given f of x, remember f of x is the same thing as y. So we're just replacing it with y. Step number 2, we're going to flip our x and our y. And then we're going to solve for y. This could take a couple steps to get there. And then the last thing we need to do is take that y back out and replace it with inverse notation. So f inverse of x is how that's read. It looks like an f with a little -1. That's f inverse of x. So we're going to follow these 4 steps with this problem here. First thing we're doing is taking this f of x out, and we're going to replace it with y. So y equals -5x minus 4. That's step 1. For step number 2, we're going to flip the x and the y. So x equals -5y minus 4. We've just switched it. For the third step, we're going to solve for y, and this could take several steps in itself. So we just want to get y by itself. Add 4 to both sides, so x plus 4 equals -5y. Beside it, divide it. We're going to divide both sides by -5. The easiest way is just take that whole left side and divide it by -5. You could do every single term individually, but this is the fastest way to do it. So now we have x plus 4 divided by -5 equals y. The last thing we need to do here is, since we've got y by itself, we took care of that third step, solving for y. The last thing we want to do is replace y with f inverse of x. So f inverse of x equals x plus 4 divided by -5. Normally we don't leave the -5 in the bottom, but we're going to this time. The next one, we're going to find the inverse of f of x equals 5x plus 15, all divided by 7. First step, we're taking f of x out and we're replacing it with y. So y equals 5x plus 15 divided by 7. Step 2, we're flipping x and y, so x equals 5y plus 15 divided by 7. Once we flip x and y, now we're going to solve for y. So if I want to solve for y, the first thing I've got to get rid of is that nasty fraction. To get rid of it, I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. So 7 times x is 7x. The 7's on the right side cancel, leaving you with 5y plus 15. To get y by itself, I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. So 7x minus 15 equals 5y. Then divide both sides by 5. So y equals 7x minus 15 divided by 5. Last thing we need to do is write that in inverse notation. So f inverse of x equals 7x minus 15, all divided by 5. Questions on this one? The next one, we're finding g inverse of x is exactly the same as f of x, except they've changed it to a g. Our steps remain the same. So take g of x out and replace it with y. So y equals -2 plus 1/5 x. That's step 1. Step 2, we want to flip our x and our y. So now we have x equals -2 plus 1/5 y. If I want to solve for y, I've got to add 2 to both sides. X plus 2 equals 1/5 y. To get y by itself, I've got to get rid of this fraction. If I want to get rid of a fraction, I can multiply by the denominator to cancel it out. So if I multiply both sides by 5, be careful, the whole left side has to be multiplied by 5. You can either leave it as 5 and then parentheses x plus 2, or you can distribute it, doesn't matter. So 5x plus 10, if you distribute it, equals 1y or just y. Then go ahead and write your answer in inverse notation. This time, instead of g inverse of x, we have, f inverse of x, we have g inverse of x equals 5x plus 10. And the last one, here we have h of x, and we're trying to find h inverse of x. First step, always take that in notation, function notation out and replace it with y. So y equals 3/7 x minus 9/7. Once you get here, there's a couple different things you could do. So since these two fractions have common denominators, you could combine them. So you could combine them to get y equals 3x minus 9 over 7. You could do that, or you could multiply every single term by 7 to cancel out your denominators. If you do it this way, you're going to multiply everything by 7. Oh, we didn't switch our variables. What? X, Y. Make sure you switch your variable, and I forgot. I was so excited about multiplying by 7. Cancel my fraction out. Hey, it's exciting stuff. So 7x equals, the 7's here cancel, so 3y minus 9. Now I want to solve for y, so add 9 to both sides. So 7x plus 9 equals 3y. Beside it, divide it. We're going to divide by 3. So y equals 7x plus 9, all divided by 3. Which really, for your answer, you've got to write it in inverse notation. This time we started with h, so we found the inverse of h, which is 7x plus 9, all divided by 3. Questions on this one? So always the same 4 steps. Doesn't matter if I give you f of x, g of x, h of x, anything of x. Any function, you're going to follow these steps. Just change the letter at the end. All right, on the next page, you have some homework problems. So you're going to be finding inverses on that next page. If you get stumped, have questions or concerns, let me know.